say that, I guess. I thought you got to give Old Dominion some credit. I think their defensive front, was pretty good, really. And I think it took us a little bit to get going, and some of it was self-inflicted, with turnovers. Obviously, that always hurts you. We moved the ball some, but up front, they did a nice job early on keeping us from running the ball, which, we want to do that to give us opportunities to throw it down the field. So, I think as the game goes, good thing is you played 4 quarters, and our guys kept playing and competing, and finally got it going there in the third quarter.
Coach, speaking of playing all 4 quarters, with 42 points in the second half against Old Dominion, your offense is now ranked number 1 in the nation in second half points with 22 points a game on average. There are 30 teams that don't score 22 points total on the season. What do you attribute these strong second halves to?
I think our guys are just dialed in. They're more. We want to finish. That's one of the things in the off season that our strength staff and Coach Monken and those guys that was our mantra, kind of. Hey, let's finish. Let's make sure that we compete. The whole game and with all of our drills, it's always a finish thing. I think our guys have that mindset. I think that's part of it. I also think that part of it is just we do. I think in the second half we try to do a really good job of making adjustments. I think our coaching staff as a whole comes together and says, okay, here are the things that we need to do. And really, there wasn't a whole lot of that going on in this game. It was more of, hey, let's execute what we're doing. And everything we have is there. Just got to finally finish drives and make plays. But probably more of a mindset than anything with our players. And our players, like I said before, have been here 2 or 3 years now. They're more mature and kind of when you have an older team or a team group of guys that have been around and played for a couple of years, I think that's always makes that an easier deal in the second half.
Could you talk? Well, I'll ask you. New defensive coordinator for Louisiana Tech. How does that change, if at all, especially in pass defense?
Yeah, scheme-wise, I think they're really similar. Do a lot of the same things. I think the defensive coordinator there learned under Manny Diaz, or worked with him for sure. I know. So I think scheme-wise, they're not a lot different. Obviously, everybody has a different personality on how they call a game and what they like to do in certain situations. I think it's important for us to try to look into that. But at the end of the day, I think we have to play well and do the things that we do well, and they'll do the same on their end. Maybe a couple wrinkles here and there on both sides, but at the same time, it comes down to this time of year what our players are capable of doing and what we do well, and hopefully play really well, not turn it over, and run the ball well, and be good on third downs and good in the red zone. If we do those things, I think we'll have a chance to win.
Coach, when you look at that Louisiana Tech defense and you look at their front and their linebackers and their secondary, is there any particular unit that stands out as being a strong point?
Yeah, I think the first thing you see is their front. The 2 D linemen they have, 8, 9, those guys are really good players. They're very active, they're physical. They've played at least since I've been here. They were here last year, so got a lot of experience. Their linebackers are very sound, good tacklers in space, which I think they have to be with the style of defense they play. And their secondary, they do a good job playing the ball in the air. So they're a solid defense. They're very sound, and they compete and they play hard. And so basically, it's one of those deals where it's going to be hopefully a really good game on both sides, and it'll come down to who makes plays.
Bryson Abraham is the number 1 quarterback. How do you think he can stop Mike Thompson? He's on Mike Thompson.
Yeah, I don't. I hope he doesn't. To be honest with you, but he is he's a really good player. There's no doubt. One of the better players probably in our league. So I think it's one of those things where Mike's going to have to make some contested catches, which college football is really about that. No guys really run wide open, so it's going to come down to Mike making plays, but not just Mike. Our whole offense needs to play well and complement each other like we've done most of the year.
There were several individual records set the other night. You even keep up with that kind of thing.
You don't. I mean, not to say that I don't respect, the history of our program and those kind of things, but it's when you're coaching it, you're so locked into just preparing and trying to, and you don't want to take your mind or distract yourself from what's the most important thing, which is putting together a great plan. I think those are things that we kind of look at after the season. Obviously, I'm aware now of those things that went on, but it's nice to see. But I think we're on a mission and want to try to finish the season with all our goals still ahead of us, and so I think that's something we'll look back in the off season and appreciate more.